How do we explain that particular performance? A loss to Everton after 10, 12 years? Last time Everton won at Old Trafford, David Moyes was the Man United manager, and that was all the way back in 2013. That in itself tells you just how everyone expected Man United to win. And what made it better for us, we were playing at home. They got a red card after, I think it was 13 or 15 minutes. Gay slapping Michael Keane after we basically cut him wide open, and basically Bruno's shot went wide. The red card in itself was not something that everyone saw coming. I mean, who would have thought you'd see teammates fighting to that particular point? But I think the United players looked at the game as if to say, we're playing at home, we are much better in terms of our performances. And it certainly does not make a difference in terms of how we approach the game. Lack of intensity, a lack of fight, a lack of aggression. We weren't pressing, especially when there were 10 men. I mean, they scored a goal because we decided to just let them run through us. There were two players, Dewsbury Hall and Grealish, up against five players at the back. Euro, De Ligt, Shaw, Ahmad was a bit back, and you had Dorgu also at the far side. There was enough players to stop that. But it's one of those shots that hits the top corner, and it's you can't. It's football. De Ligt said it after the game. It's football. You know, we didn't create a lot of chances that we could say is actually really, really proper clinical chances. We simply looked very, very devoid of confidence. We looked scared. We were being outrun, outpaced, outfought, and it was last season all over again. We need to remember we finished 15th last season. Man United was losing every particular week, and when we did win, it was a win in every 6, 7 games probably. Now we've had a good run of form. We just came off 5 games unbeaten. And Amarim said in the press conference before the game that it can easily turn. We could be looking at, having a run of 3 without a win. And that's basically what it is. 2 draws and a loss. That 5 game unbeaten run is gone. A year on from Amorim first getting his manager appointment, and you can say there's been progress, but you can also say he's been stubborn. Because I do think that when the opposition goes down to 10 men, you must expect them to sit back and defend. Especially after they got the first goal. They have something to defend and fight for. You have to change a few things. You have to make the necessary tactical changes in order to get what you need out of the team. You have to take risks. Sir Alex, and we are always going to go back to this, Sir Alex was never as stubborn as people made him out to be. He was a tactical genius and made the necessary changes when he needed to. You look at the game we played against Arsenal, and that was the 8-2 win, by the way, for those who don't remember. We had the likes of Tom Cleverley playing, and you can talk all you want about Tom Cleverley, but he is not the first choice midfielder you would want to have in your team, even though under Sir Alex he won a Premier League title. We have players that are not good enough. Second half, Amorim makes changes, and the changes themselves don't help the team. We look very static, slow in possession, devoid of ideas or ways to break Everton down. We can't constantly cross the ball into the box if there's no target, man. And yes, Xerxes got a few headers off, and again, another game where Jordan Pickford plays against United and he has an absolute worldie of a game, making saves that is in his characteristics. You would say it's not something he does every game, but against us he always seems to turn up. And if he didn't make the saves that he did, Everton don't win the game. So I guess you have to give credit that way. You have to give credit to the way they Everton defended. You have to give credit to the way David Moyes set up the team, especially after they went down 10 men. But Ruben Amorim brought on the likes of Delo, who again is a defender first. He's not going to be getting you an opportunity or putting in a ball that can be very dangerous. Ahmad seemed to be crossing the ball but getting frustrated. Nobody's getting on the end of it. Who are you even crossing to? It's Xerxes and Mount when he came on in the second half alone in the box against Tarkovsky, Michael Keane, and O'Brien, who are literally 6 foot players. They love balls coming into the box and they just head it away ever so calmly. The only time we looked like we were pressuring Everton was close to the end of the game when we realized, hey, time is running out. We're going to lose this game. Then there was intensity. Then there was pressure and a bit of more energy being shown. But it was too late by then. We should have been doing that before they even got the red card. After the red card was given, we should have actually been pressing them. But the way Everton got space on the ball, the way it looked as if they had more players than us, that in itself is a disgrace. How does a team that has 10 men look as if there are more players on the pitch? They look more comfortable, more organized. They looked more composed. And you can go through the team from back to front. Lemens, other than the goal, I think he had a very quiet game. Everton didn't pepper us. Of course not. They sat back and defended. Euro, again, should have probably been stronger for Dewsbury Hall to make the challenge before he took the shot. De Ligt should have maybe come out and closed him down, especially knowing that there are 10 men. We can occupy an extra player to go and press a man on the ball. Luke Shaw, again, a quiet game, but maybe you would have expected more from him. Dogu looked very, very conservative, safe, doesn't look to take his man on and constantly plays the ball backwards. Bruno and Casemiro looked like they came from the international break. Both of them had amazing games for Brazil and Portugal, but they looked like they were still at the international break with their teams. Mazraoui, again, not one of his best games, but he didn't do that much wrong. I felt that in the first half, he seemed to do quite well on the right-hand side going forward with the balls that he put into the box. Mbumo, Xerxes, and Ahmad. Xerxes himself, I guess his time is done at United. He just doesn't look like the player that he was. When he started, I thought, you know what, it's going to be a good game for him because the last time he played against Everton, he scored 2 goals. I thought there was confidence there. But he looked lost. He's miles behind Benjamin Sesko in terms of what we need as a striker for this particular system and the way the team plays itself with Benjamin Sesko. Ahmad again did well when he was playing in a more inside role. But when he went to right back, yes, he was playing high up as a right winger, but he certainly was not being as effective. Mbumo didn't look as energetic or as threatening, seemed to drop deep too much, should have maybe ran in behind with the likes of Casemiro, Bruno, etc. that could find him in those spaces in behind because Everton did want to press us, and if we had runners in behind, we could have broken them down. But people are talking about Amarim's system being the problem, him being the problem, and I do blame Amarim for the loss as well. But the players as well, there is a personnel issue. We do have players that are not good enough. Look at the impact with Cunha and Benjamin Sesko not being available for this particular game. You could argue Harry Maguire maybe gives us a bit more aerial strength in this particular game when we have set pieces, especially with the amount of corners that we got. But when the AFCON comes, we're going to lose Mazraoui, Mbumo, and Ahmad. How's that going to be? Look how we are with them without Sesko and Cunha alone. We need to somewhat get into the mindset of we can win games. We can be consistent. And it seems like every time there's an opportunity for us to climb the table, get higher up there, get more points, be more in the conversation for Champions League, the Premier League title, make moves towards that particular direction, we seem to just capitulate. It's like some of the players, just the pressure gets to them. Whenever there's an opportunity to get a step forward, they seem to just fall to their mental fragility. But I'm angry and upset about the performance, and it is a loss. But we have to move on. Crystal Palace next, away, Selhurst Park. Yeah, that's not going to be any easier. It's going to be much more difficult than what Everton was. We know that Crystal Palace have put big teams to the sword. And they've done it to us multiple times in previous seasons. So there is time to rectify any issues and work on any mistakes that we made against Everton and try and be much better. But for 2 weeks, and that was the performance we got against Everton. Those who went to the international break, they went to international break. But those who stayed, what were they doing? They had time to rest, they had time to train more, to improve. And that is the performance that they give. Unacceptable, unforgivable. And they can't be falling to the floor going, oh, we should have done better. Oh, we should have won the game. Oh, I'm so upset. No, I don't fall for that anymore. Last season, they showed that they can win when they want to and just completely throw in the towel. And that happened again against Everton. It was deja vu of last season. But anyway, we have to move on. Let me know in the comment section what are your thoughts, how you are feeling after that particular abysmal performance. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share, and subscribe.